Are you ready to create your first Copilot custom agent? In this demonstration, you will create an agent under Adele's Microsoft 365 account. She has the Copilot Chat Basic license. If you have the premium license, I encourage you to stick around. It is important for you to know the capability differences between Copilot Basic and Premium. Let's get started. I have navigated to m365.cloud.microsoft and notice I have landed on the homepage. In the left navigation, you'll see that I have my agents here, but down at the bottom, notice that Adele has the Copilot Chat Basic. Remember, she is only web grounded. She can connect to the web and pull information or upload a file to be able to get information. So let's take a look at our agents, all agents. And I can create a new agent from the top right-hand corner, or in the left navigation, I also can click on new agent. And so let's do that. This is the agent on console. Notice you'll see agent builder here. This is the Copilot Studio Lite version. Notice that on this center section, that this is where we will build our agent. And you'll see over here in a little bit that this is going to be the preview while you're creating it. I want you to go ahead and click on the Describe tab. Now, what you want to do is plan out your, agent requirements, right? Just don't put something generic as just create me a financial statement risk review agent for my team. Give a little bit more detail. For an example, I have added, the agent must analyze uploaded financial documents only and perform structured risk assessment. The next bullet says summarize financial position, identify unusual variance, highlight audit and compliance risk. It must not assume missing data and must clearly state limitations if information is incomplete. We provided what type of tone that we want, professional and audit ready. And I've added the last one. Explain to the users what this agent can and cannot do when appropriate. It's so frustrating when you're learning a new tool and you get an answer saying that it doesn't work properly and you don't know why. So I always like to add that last slide. And so I'm going to go ahead and hit generate. We have given Copilot our requirements. Now it's going to analyze it and provide us with the best title, the best description, what the instructions should really be that make this agent really powerful and useful to us. And so we have to give it a little bit of time for it to populate. Copilot has come back and, just saying, hey, this is what I think you want. Take a look at it and make sure that these requirements match what your needs are. And it's going to prompt you. Do you want to go ahead and test? Do you want to modify the agent to include more risk factor? Explain agent limitations in detail. So here's your opportunity before you create it to go ahead and give it a little bit more information. There are times when it may ask you to provide the source link. And I just want to put this in here because I want you to see the response that you get. So I'm adding this link because sometimes it will ask if you want to have a source input in the knowledge area, and it's going to come back and let you know that you can't do it. I always like to show what you cannot do so you don't waste time. Copilot come back to just say, if you want to use internal sites or files, agent knowledge, you have to have a Copilot license, and it's giving you the link for more details. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. On the right-hand side, see you have the agent preview. You can test it out if you want to. Look how it has provided you with 6 suggestions, prompts. So again, people are new to this application. You can always be helpful by providing them with prompts that they could use and they can easily enter in their own. But let's take a look what's in the Configure tab. Now, in the Configure tab, we have a couple things we can do right off the bat. It wants us to provide it with our own icon. Now, I can click on the pencil. I have the option to let AI generate me an icon for this agent. I can click on Browse. I can choose any of these icons and give it a color. We'll choose this teal blue color. Or you can upload your own icon. So I'm going to go back to the browse and hit apply, and it should update. There it is. It's giving us this name here. We can revise this if we want to. As a best tip, I like to add emojis in front of my titles. Hit the Windows key plus period. There's my blue icon, my circle. And the reason why I do this is because when I look down my left navigation, I know the ideal and prop coach was provided by Microsoft. These are the ones that I have created. So it just helps me determine what belongs to Microsoft and what belongs to me or my company. Next, it has provided the description. So you can take a look here and, read through this, see if this matches what you want. This has just been helpful for others. If you share it, others know what this agent is all about. But what we want to look at and review is the instructions. Look how detailed it is. It provided the purpose of this agent, general guidelines. In the skills area, I would have just thought to group that based on skills, and it had pulled some information there for us. Think about next the workflow, error handling and limitations, example interactions, and for the users, are there any audit risk? Attach the files, because I wanted to make sure we remind people to attach the files. So this looks good. So let's take a look at the knowledge area. Because at this point, we have to upload our documents, so there's nothing we need to do in this knowledge area. We're not linking to any external website, so we can skip this, and I'll show you what this looks like for another agent a little later on. Capabilities. Do you want your team to be able to create Word, Excel, or PowerPoint documents? Absolutely. Do we want to give them the ability to create images? Sure, why not? So we can just enable those and make that available. The next area is suggested prompts. Copilot has reviewed our information and analyzed it and came up with the best 6 prompts for us to use. We can move them around if we want to. We can delete them, and we can make any changes in here that we want. Notice over here in the agent preview, I see the title and the description, and we can take a look at these and make a better decision if we want to change them. If you want to add more prompts, here just hit the suggested prompts and fill out the form. So far this looks pretty good. What I want to do is go ahead and create. It's going to ask, do you want to make this private or make this available, by sharing it with the others? For the first time around, I like to look at and test it before I share it with others. So let's go to the agent and let's try that first prompt. Notice I got to attach my files, and let's do that. Now, there's a couple ways you can attach your files. If you hit the slash, notice that my files will come up. I can choose if I need to search for a file, we'll see what comes up. Here's a file that we can upload. Notice you can also choose this upload from this device or attach cloud files. So multiple ways that you can attach your file. So let's go ahead and generate. The agent performs just like everything else. It's going to take a look at the document, analyze it. It's going to tell us what it's doing because it says it's currently looking at Python. There's some codes, which, we don't have to do anything with it. Copilot has informed us that it has completed 7 steps to analyze our document before it provided us with a response. So we'll scan through here and we start looking through this information. Yes, this looks good. We keep scrolling because you want to make sure that you always validate your information. And we finally made it to the end. Now, just like everything else, you can continue this conversation with Copilot, for more information. You have the same controls here at the bottom here. If you want to open this up in Pages, that you can do that. So you can move things around by grabbing this and dragging it. So you can move items around. You can type in here. You have the ability to create documents. So that's good. And I'm going to close this out. And then there is that page that we just opened up for the Canvas. So if you ever need to go back and reference it, you can. Now, let's say that your leader has come back and said, this is great. How about let's provide a suggested format so when our team members start using it, it's consistent. So we're going to ask Copilot to help us come up with the best instructions so we can add into the agent. So I just typed here, suggest a report layout for consistency that I can add to the agent. And we're going to run it and see what it has to offer, that now we can go in and modify our agent at any given time. So it's already making suggestions. Oh, I like this idea. Data integrity checks, profile summary, include tables when it's necessary. This looks really good and very detailed, that it would cover a lot. So notice, want the copy block. This is very helpful because I can copy this and add it into the agent. So in the left navigation, let's go and locate our agent. Click on the 3 dots for more options, and we're going to select Edit. Under our instructions, we'll just scroll to the end and paste those instructions. Now, while we're here, we might as well go ahead and share this document with Nestor. So I'm going to go ahead and say Update, because automatically that it auto saves, so we don't have to worry about looking for a save button, and give it time. And now notice it says go to the agent or share. Now I could have clicked the share button up here at the top right as well, but when I click share here, you can share it to the whole organization or to certain users in the organization. And I'm going to add in Nestor. I'm going to copy this link and hit apply because I'm going to send this to Nestor so he can take a look at this agent. So I'm going to go back to the agent. Now let's go ahead and open up Nestor's account. And I'm going to paste that URL in the browser. And this is what's going to happen. He's going to see that this was created by Dell. Here is the description and what version, and we have the ability to hit add. So let's go ahead and run a prompt. So we're going to do that same one. Notice we get the link for the attachments. So notice the files are not coming up in the search. Let's try enter in search key term. That is not coming up. And let's go to the cloud. Let's navigate to the location. It was in a SharePoint site. And there is the file. And let's select it and run it. While we're waiting for this to run, Nestor cannot make any edits to the original agent, nor can he delete it. If Adele decide to leave the company or go into a different role, that the only person that can transfer the ownership of that agent is IT. So she has to work with the IT department. And if we look here, we are getting that report. And it's using the format. So now everybody on our team will have the same layout and we can share this information. So I mentioned that Nestor, if he decide he wants to share this with Alex, he copied the link. And let's go over to Alex. And let's say he sent him the email and sent him this link. Alex would see the agent, but he cannot add it. So he would have to reach out and contact Adele to make sure for her to give him access to this agent. So that gives you a little bit of peace of mind. Let's go back to Adele. How will Adele know who she have shared her agent with? There's a couple ways that you can handle it. You can click on the more options. And if you click on share, it's going to give you the summary. Notice that she has not shared this with Alex yet. So that's one way. That's one way. You can also uninstall the agent. When you uninstall it, you're just removing it from the agent list when you look at all your agents. It has not been deleted. To delete your agent, you have to go into edit mode. Notice here up at the top where it says Agent Builder. Let's click on that link there. Show all agents. And as soon as you click on it, you get Delete Agent. So that's a way to delete. In this next demo, we are exploring the web as the knowledge base. I have already created a financial regulatory briefing agent that helps finance and compliance professionals interpret published SEC announcements and guidance. The SEC is the U.S. federal agency that regulates the security industry, protect investors, and help maintain a fair and efficient markets. I will first explain the knowledge source, which is external web content, and then show how this agent works differently for Copilot Chat Basic compared to Copilot Premium. With Chat Basic, the value is mostly public web research and summarization. With Premium, the value moves further into workflow execution across Microsoft 365 apps and business content. I have navigated to the agent store and located my custom app. If I click on the more options here, I have access to the about. I can share, pin or unpin it to the left navigation, edit, and install. If I go ahead and hit the about, I can open it from here as well. So what you see here on the screen is I have several prompts that I'm suggesting. And the first one is provide a list of SEC government announcements in a time frame. So our users can add a time frame. And let's just say March and run it. Just like everything else, Copilot is going to go through and search for this information. For the final product, it went out to the website and located the recent announcements and had provided in a format that I had said in our instructions. And we'll look at our instructions in a moment. Let's start a new chat. I want you to see this prompt. This prompt says summarize SEC.gov announcements in, and I state my time period, say this year, for executive leadership using the required report format. Focus on material business impact, compliance consideration, and potential risk exposure. Use clear, non technical language appropriate for the board discussion. And when I run this, and here are the results. Again, the beauty of it is that we know that we're going to have the same format every time. I never had to leave, Microsoft 365 to retrieve this information. Let's look at one more. This last prompt is regulatory policy comparison. And it says review the relevant internal compliance document and determine its primary regulatory subject matter. Select the single most relevant SEC source, then produce the required comparison reports. Notice for this time around, I have to attach the document that we want them to compare it with. And so I add the slash and select my document. We run it this time around, and as the result, that we get our information. So let's take a look on how I created the agent. So everything that I just walked you through in the last demonstration, all that applies. What I just want you to focus on this time around is the source. Here, I just entered in the link to that website for each source where I want it to be grounded. Notice that I cannot add any documents or SharePoint site links here, only external. And I showed you that earlier in the previous demonstration. So I just added the website's link here. Everything else is the same. We can add our suggested prompts, and that's how we end up getting the results. What I want to show you is the difference when I do run some of these prompts in the premium. With the Copilot Premium license, the first two prompts works exactly the same as it did in Copilot Chat Basic. So no worries there. It's this prompt here. Notice the first two sentences is exactly the same. This last sentence says, do not ask me to upload a file or provide an SEC link unless no strong match can be identified. Again, because we are grounded in Microsoft 365 and to the web, we don't have to upload a document to our prompt. And let's go ahead and run it, because I want you to see that it will retrieve the information for us automatically. Notice that it says that it has completed 14 steps before we got to our report. I want you to look at this because you always want to validate where, Copilot is pulling this information, and it's going to give you real detailed here. So notice right here, choosing compliance. It went and found the document that was listed in our source, and I'll show you the difference in the app builder, what was done different than from the Copilot chat. The other thing that I want to point out here too is based on where it's pulling its information from the external website. Notice it tells you exactly what rule that they pull that information from. So that's going to be very helpful again to validate your information. And here I have my document in the format that we had specified in our app builder. So everything is the same, and I'm just scrolling to the knowledge source. And again, notice that we able to upload SharePoint sites, team sites, emails. We can upload from our device as well as from from our cloud files. And so here down below, I've already entered in my websites, had them listed here, and I've also added the SharePoint site. You're just going to enter in the link and provide the details, and it will show up here at the bottom. That's what's different is the difference between web grounding only versus web and work grounded. So this concludes the demo on creating your first agent. Remember, we are in the Copilot chat basics. We create an agent for consistency to reduce time, and we actually put information from the external web.